A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 19 verses 3 to 12. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. One day, the Pharisees were badgering him. "Is it legal for a man to divorce his wife for any reason?" He answered, "Haven't you read in your Bible that the Creator originally made man and woman for each other, male and female? And because of this, a man leaves father and mother and is firmly bonded to his wife, becoming one flesh, no longer two bodies but one. Because God created this organic union of the two sexes, no one should desecrate his art by cutting them apart." They shot back in rebuttal, "If that's so, why did Moses give instructions for divorce papers and divorce procedures?" Jesus said, "Moses provided for divorce as a concession to your hard-heartedness, but it is not part of God's original plan. I am holding you to the original plan and holding you liable for adultery if you divorce your faithful wife and then marry someone else. I make an exception in cases where the spouse has committed adultery." Jesus' disciples objected, "If those are the terms of marriage, we are struck. Why get married?" But Jesus said, "Not everyone is mature enough to live a married life. It requires a certain aptitude and grace. Marriage isn't for everyone. Some, from birth, seemingly never give marriage a thought. Others never get asked or accepted. And some decide not to get married for kingdom reasons. But if you are capable of growing into the largeness of marriage, do it." The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 19 verses 3 to 12. Once again, Matthew presents a catechesis to his community on human relationships, marriage and divorce. Perhaps he was witnessing troubles in family relationships in his community, and he reminds them of the sacredness of marriage. The influence of the Judaisers and Pharisees on the Christian community was so strong because most of the believers who accepted Jesus came from the Jewish faith. Now, Matthew reminds them of the teachings of Jesus on marriage. It is not an ordinary union of one man and one woman, rather it is a sacrament because it is willed by God in His creative plan. The answer given by Jesus, "What God has joined together, let no person separate," fails to convince many people even today. That's why many continue to raise the same question of the Pharisees. Is it legal to divorce? The Gospel gives the answer. Marriage is a sacrament. That means willed by God. And the sacraments are for life. They are not meant for a short period. Why then does the Church give the provision of annulment of marriage? The Catechism of the Catholic Church states that the exchange of consent between spouses is the indispensable element that makes the marriage. If consent is lacking, there is no marriage, and the Church declares that marriage null. I have come across a beautiful layman's explanation for annulment. All marriages look alike from outside. But when a marriage ends in a civil divorce, the annulment process tries to look inside the marriage to see what may have been missing from the beginning of that marriage. Imagine you hold up a pen with its point covered in your hands. The assumption is that the pen contains a cartridge and is suitable for writing. It is not until you try to write with the pen that you discover there is no ink. While the pen looks like any other writing instrument, it is not until you look inside and discover that something essential is missing. The fear of the disciples of Jesus is our fear today. They say, it would be better not to marry then. There are many youngsters who are afraid of making choices in life today. Choice for marriage and family, or choice for religious life and priesthood. They are afraid of failures in their choices. But running away from making choices in life is failure to place our trust in God. Pope St. John Paul II told the youth, God will not make choices for you, but He blesses the choices you make with Him. Jesus repeats to us His words of power and encouragement. Do not be afraid, only believe.